'Tis the season for smelling clean, fresh, crisp, and well put together. You know, winter time, fall and winter is when you can really step out of your comfort zone and experiment and wear fragrances that are rich, dark, mysterious, sweet, strong, all of that good stuff. You can get away with about anything in wintertime. But when it comes to spring and summer, you have to choose wisely, because if you are going to a situation where you're going to be around people relatively close and you wear a fragrance that's very sweet and very loud in the summertime when you don't have any sort of combating colder temperatures to help push it back, you could start to get some funny looks. And so typically, everyone knows this, you kind of try to choose fresher, cleaner, citrusy, aquatic fragrances for the spring and summer. So what I wanted to do was try to sit down and brainstorm some of the cleanest, freshest, and most crisp, like clean fragrances that exist on the market. Like these are like the cleanest, the brightest. I mean, there's nothing about these that are any way inoffensive. So if you want to play it as safe as possible, you want to smell amazing, but you also kind of want some choices here that are a little bit different, a little bit out of the ordinary, this video is going to be for you. I will provide links to all of these down below as well to discounters, so you can pick them up at a price below retail. We're sticking with designers today. No niche this time. Well, maybe one, but it's not really a niche price. We'll get there. It's at the very end. We're going to start off with Lacoste 1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche. This happens to be their newest one, so not quite on discounters yet, but stick with me. Grapefruit, lemon, ginger, and vetiver are some of the main notes. Look at that dent. Do you see that dent? That's a dent, my friends. You know why? Because this stuff smells amazing. Very, very well done. Now, Lacoste, they make some great fragrances, and they kind of excel in this category, clean, fresh, that sort of thing. I've been happy with all of them, but I've also had, I don't know, some critiques on a few of them. And the main one, in some instances, is the quality and the delivery of it. You know, some kind of come across a little bit harsh off the opening to me. But this one here, the new Eau Fraiche, is so buttery smooth from opening to dry down. It's a huge improvement. So again, you get this nice grapefruit up top mixing with the lemon. There's some vetiver in the base, giving it a nice clean, masculine woodiness, a little bit of a ginger spice, a kind of a slight balancing sweetness as well, but it's super clean, super fresh, very uplifting. And, you know, while it's easy to look at a note breakdown like this and be like, oh, looks basic, looks boring, I'll pass, they managed to pull this one off in the best way possible to where it is different. It has its own twist. And again, the quality is amazing. Now, retail price is not friendly, right? You're still going to be looking at $80 or so, maybe more by the time you pay taxes, shipping. So the reason why I'm putting this one in is because be on the lookout. It's been out for a good while now. This was one of the first new releases I believe I covered this year. And so once it hits discounters and you can get it for the typical price of a Lacoste fragrance, I think this one is going to explode. It's going to do very well in the warm weather. Be on the lookout for this one. Awesome stuff. Up next, we have BVLGARI Man Glacial Essence. Clearwood, juniper berries, and musk are some of the main notes. A little bit more woods like cedar wood, but primarily it's the clear wood, which comes across kind of light, woody, and a little bit watery is how I pick up on it. The juniper berries give it this kind of aromatic, slight, bright pop, and of course, a whole bunch of musk, and in general, a lot of aroma chemicals going on in here. So in a way, this is kind of the blue fragrance of the BVLGARI Man lineup. Now, it's not quite to the level of a Sauvage, Dylan Blue, Bleu de Chanel, Aqua Atlantique, that type of thing, but it would be the closest to that out of this lineup here. The line is amazing. I've talked about this lineup before, just recently did a buying guide. This is one of the fragrance lines where it was hard for me to tell you which ones you shouldn't get, because I think just about all of them are worth owning, aside from one, maybe two. I'm a big fan of the entire line. So if you're wanting to dive into the lineup, this is a good jumping off point because it's going to be relatively familiar to you, yet it still has kind of a unique twist. The point about this one is, though, is that it's very clean, very fresh, big compliments all around, and it smells fantastic in the warm weather. Up next, we have a proven classic, one of the fragrances that kicked off my collection. If it wasn't for this one here, there's a good chance that all of this behind me may not be there. It's crazy to think, but in a way it is kind of true. It's Versace MANEAU Fresh. Starfruit, musk, lemon, and bergamot are some of the main notes. It's fresh, it's tropical, it's musky, and it's amazing. I love this stuff. It smells like a vacation. You know, there are few fragrances out there that remind me of a vacation as much as this one does. Maybe one other one to think off the top of my head would be something like Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct. You know, it kind of fits in that vein where it's tropical, it's playful. It's like you don't have a care in the world when you smell this one. You spray this one on, and all of your worries, all of your stress, it just goes away for a while. That's what vacation is all about, and having a fragrance to help accelerate that, to me, is priceless. Let's go with this one up next. We have Chanel Allure Homme Sport. So we're going to get a little bit more high-end here. For those of you who have a little bit more money to kind of just toss around into the atmosphere out there, you could go with the Chanel. We have C notes, orange, aldehydes, and tonka bean. Love it. Big fan. I'm a huge fan of the entire lineup. Everything from the original, which is very easy to sleep on, but I still love the original, all the way to Extreme and Edition Blanche and even the Cologne version, right? This one here is going to be the most sporty of them all, I would say. At least this in Cologne, but in talking about sport, between Sport and Sport Eau Extreme, this is going to be the more sporty of the two, being that it's more fresher. It's aldehydic, it's creamy up top with the orange. You get a little bit of a watery smell in here, but it's so clean, so fresh, so well done. And this stuff here is, I mean, it's so sexy. It's a fantastic fragrance that pulls compliments left, right, and center. For me, absolutely love Chanel Allure Homme Sport. It's got a special place in my heart, and it is crisp and clean to the max. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette. Now, this is the 2017 version here. Very important. We have pear, lavender, and iris as some of the main notes. It is so fruity and fresh up top, so bright. Smells amazing. Now, the reason why I emphasized 2017 is because there's a Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette that's like the old style that came out a good while ago. That one's animalic and completely different. So make sure if you're wanting to get this one, first of all, link down below, easiest way, but also just make sure you're getting the 2017, make sure you're getting the bottle that looks like this, and make sure the note breakdown has pear, lavender, iris, that sort of thing. Smells fantastic. Really well done. This, believe it or not, was the last Gentleman fragrance that I added to my collection. So I've gotten all of the new releases before this one. I've gotten all of the ones released after this one before this. This was literally the last one that I got. And I picked it up because I was going to do a buying guide. And what a mistake that was, that I held off this long to get this one. I still remember I tried it for the first time to start testing it for that buying guide. And I was just kicking myself. I'm like, what have I been missing out on these past few years? I mean, this stuff is incredible. You know, it's not redundant. It's not really the same as anything else. It has its own thing going on. It's different than the cologne in the line, you know, right? It just has, oh man, so nice. The iris comes through, but it's a very fresh iteration of iris here. The lavender giving it a nice clean aromatic feel. The juicy fruity pear up top smells amazing. Clean, fresh, masculine, kind of playful, and very nice. So we're going to go with a cheapie here. Now this cheapie, the reason why I love it so much is that it's done by master perfumer Alberto Morillas. That's pretty cool, right? A lot of times when you look at fragrances done by him, they're going to be up there higher in price point. Not always. He's done some other cheapies as well, but this one here is one that you can get for, I want to say around mid $30 range. It's ACQUA Essenziale Colonia, and it's by Ferragamo. Ferragamo, they are an amazing fragrance house, and they have a lot of ones that go on sale for a price around this. Bergamot watery notes and clary sage are some of the main notes here. Love it. Smells amazing. It's kind of a little bit more of a classic traditional take on a men's fragrance. Not aromatic fougere really, but just a bit more classic. You know, it's very refined, very masculine, traditional. I love the lavender, geranium, kind of green mintiness going on in here with a hint of a watery smell. Smells amazing. Oh, wow. Don't spray it in your nose. That'll get you every time. Love how this one comes across. Love the bottle. I mean, even the presentation is nice. You know, it does have a sticker here on the front that can get hung up and want to start to come off on you. But the cap does click into place. Bottle looks very classy. I mean, this has a traditional look to it to match the scent itself. Fantastic stuff for not a lot of money. Very clean, very crisp, very fresh. Let's step up our game a little bit. We're going to go over to Michael Kors. This is Extreme Sky, part of their Extreme line. Cypress, ozonic notes, and vetiver are going to be some of the key players in here. It exceeded my expectations by a long shot when I first got it in. Reviewed this one a couple summers back, somewhere around there. I can't remember for sure, but it was one that I kind of discovered on my own. It might have been a new release at the time I reviewed it. I can't remember, but it looked good. I liked the note breakdown. Bottle looked cool. I didn't really have any Michael Kors fragrances up until that point, so I pulled the trigger on it, and I'm glad I did. It's one that I've still gravitated towards and reached for, even after a few years now. It's bright, it's airy, it's ozonic, it's citrusy. The citrus in here has a nice bite to it, like a crisp kind of sour smell. Really catches your attention off the first spray. It'll also catch the attention of people around you when they smell this one, because it has a little bit of a pop behind it. You know, it's not super dull and flat. There's a little bit of a punch behind it that kind of gets people's attention. Very nice stuff. We're going to go over to another cheapie now. Davidoff Cool Water Wave. So if you're lucky, you can get a 100 ml on clearance for about $20, I believe is where it floats around, somewhere around in there. And it's really nice stuff. Now, what this one smells like, bear with me, is it has a little bit of an Invictus Aqua smell. But this kind of wins the competition of being one of the cheapest Invictus Aqua smelling fragrances that are still worthwhile picking up. C notes, grapefruit, and juniper. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. It smells like kind of like Invictus Aqua, like I just said. That's all you need to know. Forget the note breakdown. Invictus Aqua vibes. Not as strong, not as rich, not as sweet, which will be good for some of you, but definitely heavily inspired by that, you know. You could go for something like VERSACE Havas, which is Invictus Aqua smelling. That's very fresh, crisp, and clean, but fruity as well, and a little bit more sweet than this one, so it kind of depends on what you're after here. And it's about $40 on a good day when Fragrance By has it. When they don't have it, you're looking at $60, $70. So this one here, almost always about $20. It's going to be the most affordable option for you, and it's still very clean, fresh, heavy on the lavender. Going to be heavy on the synthetics, of course, but it's done in a very nice way. Smells great in the summertime. Second to last fragrance, we've got Gucci Guilty Black, a bestseller, a hot topic, one that everyone probably has smelled at one point, and a lot of you probably have this one sitting on your shelf at home. Green notes, lavender, and orange blossom are some of the main notes. Nice little note breakdown. This one is fresh, crisp, floral, and clean to the absolute max. I mean, this one is so well put together, and the reason why it's going to get some hate is because it is popular, and it's also very simplistic. To a lot of you, it would be very boring, right? But we're not really looking to appeal to people who want a challenge or something artistic with this video. We're taking a look at things that are just very stripped back, very easy to get along with, very warm weather, and clean smelling. And that's kind of what this one does here, and that's why it's so popular. The general public, they're after something like this. They want to smell good. They want to smell clean. People don't always want to smell like, you know, tobacco or an ashtray or a pile of oud sitting in the corner that's been left out in the sun for a few days and it starts to smell bad, right? People are not into that stuff. They want something clean and fresh, and most importantly, they want compliments. That's what this one does. We're going to end this video with the most simple fragrance known to man. At least one of them, that is. It's Molecule 2. So we've got one note in this fragrance, and it's ambroxan. If you just want to smell like ambroxan, get this one. This is going to be absolutely clutch for those really hot days where you just almost don't even want to deal with the fragrance. A lot of these in here, really all of these, would be very good for a hot day. But let's say that's still too much. You're just not in the mood, but you also don't want to walk out of the house without a fragrance. You're going to feel like you didn't put on underwear or something, right? If you walk out without a fragrance, you feel like you're missing something. So that's when you wear Molecule 2. Alternatively, you can layer this with anything in this video. This would be a good layer. This would be a good layer. This would be a good layer. Literally any fragrance you can layer it with. It's going to give it that boost. It's going to give it that mass-pleasing ambroxan kick. It's just going to work very well. Works great standalone as well, but you can also layer it. It's clean and crisp and fresh, and it's ambroxan. It's going to get you compliments. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That is 10 crisp and clean and fresh fragrances that are going to have you set for everything. Any situation you're going to, these will work for you in the spring and summertime. I will provide links to these down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.